Rebuild, restore, reinvent. Rebuild, restore, reinvent. Rebuild, restore, reinvent. Can we repeat it? Rebuild, restore, reinvent. We are in a womb right now. This is a womb process. Rebuild, restore, reinvent. One more time. Rebuild, restore, reinvent. Let's feel it. I know it's a long day, but let's feel it because each word, these words mean a lot in terms of the seeds that we are planting today in the lives of those who are sitting in the seat and those who are not even here that will be affected by the energy, as Hill Harper talked about. So rebuild, restore, reinvent. So it's easy to lose your identity when you're in a society that we live in today where everybody is focused on me, me, me. What's going on in my life? What's going on in my family? What's going on in my job? You agree? And so what we're missing is the we part, because each of us play a major part in each other's lives. If I do something, it affects someone else. I was once known as 3931254, and I spent 4.5 years in prison. But what I had to do was all right, and so that changed my mindset from what I needed to do for myself, the things that I did in order to get me in that position, to change to become part of the we nation. Not we sick or we lose a job, not that kind of we, but the we where I'm responsible for my community. I'm responsible for every single thing that I do in the community in which I live, work, and serve. Agree? Awesome. So creating a we nation starts with us. It starts with our mindset. It starts with the words that we use. It starts with what we believe in. And you'll see here before I leave that I'm talking about what I call the Fab Five: faith, family, finances, fitness, and friends. The most important values in order to create a we nation. So here we are as a tree. And if we look at ourselves, each of us play a major part, as I said earlier, in terms of being that leaf that's connected to the tree. Just as the author is the creator of the book, just as the artist is the creator of that piece of art, just as the composer is to the music, there's a creator who has created us, and we're responsible for creating a nation, creating a community. And it starts right now, because we're in this womb. We're in the womb where we can make changes. We're in the womb where sometimes it gets hot. I know what it's like to have not cute little bracelets, diamond bracelets on. I know what it's like to have the whole card, the hard metal. I know what it's like to have shackles on my feet. But I had to do what? And I don't think there's enough of that going on. When I came home, it was a lot of what you did wrong, and you're a statistic, and you came from the inner city projects, and your mother was a single mother. So it was like there's no hope for you, Lucinda. There's no hope for you to make a change. There's no need for you in this community. We should do away with you because there's some A student who really appreciates her life, who is fortunate enough to go to a great school, who's fortunate enough to have a great family, who put a little something to the side for her. But what about the little girl who's in the projects who doesn't even know that a life can be made for her? What about that little girl who needs to know that she doesn't have to struggle? That's just a mentality. That's just a mindset. There's more to life out there, and somebody does care for you. Agree? Agree. So it's part of the community, which is part of unity. But a lot of times we miss the unity part of community because everybody is worried about me. What's going on with me? I don't like my job. I don't like my relationship. My family. This is why a lot of us land in certain positions that are unfortunate, because it's the me mentality. If we think about how important it is and the part that we play in somebody else's life, we'll make better decisions. Even those who are out and those who have a time when they come home. Agree? Agreed. So as you see with this pretty lady, this pretty human who's a leaf, understanding the importance, the significance that she plays in her community as a part of this tree, what happens is a lot of people want to do away with the dirt. And that's what happened when I came home. She's dirty, she's stained, she has a colorful background. But how many of us know that that's what creates that tree? How many of us know that if we do away with the dirt, we do away with the truth? If we do away with the truth, we do away with the problem. And you need dirt in order for something to grow, correct? So it's okay if you have a stained background. It's okay if you made mistakes. It's okay if you're not where you want to be right now in this moment. But just understand that that little bit of dirt that you have on you, that little bit of mistakes that you've made is the reason why we're able to support another community. We won't know what to do in another community if everything was all roses. But we have to understand that this dirt, me being a leaf, I play a significant part in what happens tomorrow. And a lot of us miss that. Society is missing that. We're worried about new gadgets. We're worried about fancy cars. We're worried about love and hip hop. We're worried about scandal. Women have scandal parties. How many of you have heard about scandal? I'm not going to say who watched it, right? So women have this, they fall in love with scandal. They fall in love with love and hip hop. They fall in love with the drama. But what happens, there's a problem. Our society, our young children are watching this, and they're beginning to emulate the same things that they see on TV. They think it's okay to go and disfigure and change their body. They think it's okay to just disfigure and change their faces because that's what society wants. And they lose the essence of that dirt. They lose the essence of being who they were created to be. They lose their identity. When you lose your identity, you lose your community. And so what's happening now is we're each responsible for what we're putting out in the community. But it's our jobs to understand who we are, what we're doing here. Not your job title, not the numbers that they give you, but who you are. I had to realize that I'm Lucinda. I'm not 393-12054. That's what they call me. I'm not a statistic. I'm a young girl who has potential. I'm not a dropout. I can do great things. I'm not illiterate. I can go to school. And I am an alumni of Mercy College. That's the first place that I went to when I came home. And it transformed my life because it showed me that I am more than what I even thought or even could imagine of who I could be. And it gave me a platform to where I am now to be able to speak to people, speak life into them, speak light into them, and be that point of light, as Tyler Perry said in one of his presentations, being a point of light. But it starts with me understanding who I am. It starts with me also understanding who I'm not. I'm not a number. I made a mistake. And T.D. Jakes said, yeah, you may have done what you've done, but you're not who they say you are. And so once we understand that, whether you're in, you're out, you made a mistake, whether you're higher up or low, it doesn't matter. When we get to the community, it doesn't matter about Republican and political parties. It doesn't matter about who's richer or who's poor. It doesn't matter on who's on TV and who's not. Like Hill Harper said, it's what's in the heart. What are you feeling right now? And a lot of us are losing touch with what really matters because we're losing the heart. So understand that you play a significant part as a leaf of this big tree, of this big life, this big world that we live in. So what actions do we need to take to make that change, to just plant something in our communities? We're all responsible for a small portion of the world. There's over 7 billion people in the world, and we're all responsible for a small portion. Your small portion may be 5. Your small portion may be 1 million. My small portion may be 10,000, but we're all responsible. So what are our beliefs based on those actions that we need to take? What is it that you're believing? Sometimes we got to get rid of those old beliefs that no longer serve us. The old beliefs of why I wondered why my grandmother was cutting the ham. She was cutting the ham because she didn't have a pan that she could afford to put the whole ham in back in the days. So getting rid of some of those old beliefs and looking at what's happening around you and then using that to alter your actions. Then your attitude. What's your attitude about what's happening? Not complaining, thinking about how can I make change? How can I make a difference? And so I tell the women that I coach, consult, and even speak to, I say, we complain about what these young girls are doing, what these young boys are doing, pull up your pants, but what are you doing to make the change? Or are you just sitting here being a part of the problem and complaining? Therefore, you don't know who you are, because clearly they know who they are because they have no problem with wearing and doing what they're doing, correct? Yes. Absolutely. So we need to know who we are. So looking at creating a healthy community, it starts today, regardless of where you're at. I started my healthy community where I was at. In 1996 was the beginning of what I thought was a marred lifestyle for me. But what I didn't realize, I just stepped into my purpose. I said, I'm going to use this to turn my life and other young girls' lives around. Because I've seen some things that shocked me. I've heard some things that just really could have discouraged me, but I refused to allow my vision and who I was to die. And so it starts right now, and I started it right then and there with a vision, with a vision board, with understanding who I was, with understanding where I wanted to go. I didn't use the society. I didn't use the rules. I didn't use what people were saying that I couldn't do against me. I came home and I got a corporate job. I came home and I got promoted. I came home and I went to college and I graduated. I came home and I fell in love with the man of my life. I came home and I got married. I came home and I had children. I came home and I started a business. So I came home to who I needed to be. I came home to Lucinda, not 393-12054. Not the statistic. Not the statistic. So it starts with you being the one and really getting real cocky and conceited about it and saying, I'm the one that can make a difference. It's okay. There's one thing with being humble, but it's another thing with standing firm and understanding who you serve and who you are. We just didn't get here by mistake. I don't know what scientific thing, whatever you believe in. We're not here to fight with any religions, but understanding that you are the one, whatever that one looks like, the one that either could continue to make mistakes or the one that continue to change, the one that can complain or the one that can put a solution to the problem, the one that can just talk about it or the one that can put it in a book. Nothing can stop you. 3 best-selling books I have sitting here. And not to say it to clap, not to say it for the applause, but to say it that anything is possible. I wasn't surrounded by writers. I wasn't surrounded by motivational speakers. I wasn't surrounded by uplifters. I was surrounded by those who believed in the struggle, and they're still there. But that doesn't mean I'm going to leave them there. I'm going to get as high as I can, and as I go, I'm taking them with me. I'm going to show them. But I'm not going to stay deep down in the dungeon if they don't want to go. That's a different story. But I will take those who are ready to shift their mindsets. And so it's not about me at this point, where everything was about me. It's not about me at this point. It's not about you. Your purpose is about them. Even in here, who else can you avoid from getting in this position? Who else can you avoid from allowing this to happen to them at their jobs? Who else can you help avoid so that they're not the next statistic, having a teenage pregnancy, getting HIV, getting raped, whatever the situation is? How can you use your story to be the one to change society and to create the community and the unity that we need today? I sound like I'm running for president. I believe. So how can you help? How can we help? And this pretty much sums it all up. How can we help? It's with my Fab Five. And my Fab Five, like I said, is faith, family, friends, finance, and fitness. What are you doing in terms of your faith? Are you getting up and taking a moment for yourself? Because if you're not connected, you'll be disconnected, correct? Everything is out. No one is tapped in. Everybody's tuned out, zoned out, moneyed out. You're just tired, right? And so we need to begin to start tapping into our faith. What do you need to do to restore your mind, body, and soul on a daily basis? Because I can't serve you if I'm not able to feed myself, if I'm not full. And we have to stop serving from an empty plate. So let me get full, mind, body, and soul, understanding who I am, what I'm here to do, so I don't misguide you to doing something wrong, correct? Then we have the finances. How can we start to just be responsible for our spending habits? We spend just on everything and anything sometimes. Well, I know I do. I'm going to speak for myself. I did. I was at the point where I would just spend, but didn't realize how that was putting my family in jeopardy. And I wasn't really thinking about the next generation, or thinking about how I can be more of a sower and a giver of life, because I wasn't responsible for my own gift of giving and finances. The next one is fitness, taking care of yourself. A lot of us miss this, me included. Taking a walk, eating right, sleeping, taking a nap. It's okay. Many of us feel guilty if we take a nap. I understand. There's hashtags out there that say team no sleep. And I fell into that whole thing. Yeah, we're part of Team No Sleep. We're on the grind. But that doesn't mean you pass out when it's time to perform. So if you're on purpose, you need the stamina. You need the energy. You need to be focused. And it's part of your mind. If your mind is tired, I don't care what your feet try to do. That's it. You're going to pass right out. So I've been there before, getting ready to deliver a powerful message, and nothing came out. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, no, this is wrong. Something's wrong. But it was because my mind was so tired and drained from giving to everybody else, but to myself, taking the time for myself in order to come correct. You agree? Yeah. Am I talking right? Yes. All right. And the next one is family. A lot of times our family is neglected. We neglect our families a lot of times. We don't really put them on our high priority list. We adopt new family. Now, we do have the pleasure of picking our friends, but the family, I would choose to pick a few different aunts here and there, but, but you don't get to pick your family. So we have chosen them, right? Unfortunately, the good ones and the bad during the holidays, we've chosen them. But your family is extremely important. Are you 100% present when your family's there? If you're writing, is your mind there when you're writing them? Have you called them? Have you picked up a phone? Have you thanked them? Have you taken out the time to be attentive at the graduation instead of texting? Even at dinner time, we're just robots. In like a program, in a matrix, everybody's at the dinner table. Like, is it really that important? If that important, then just leave dinner and then go do whatever. Why not just wait to talk? The world's not going to end. But so we just really need to be 100% present when we're with our family. Are you 100% present with your family? Absolutely. When you're there, you're there. Your attention is there. The minute my husband turned to the game, I'm on the computer on the side. But are we really there? So it's really getting to know who our family is. It's not so much of who you like and don't like. It's a misunderstanding because there's no communication. When there's no communication, it allows you to just create and make up your own things in your mind. We got to stay sharp. We only get one time. We only get one time. Anybody been here twice that I need to know about? Because I need to sign that paper. I would have preferred to come back. So we did the faith, we did the family, we did the finance, we did the fitness, and now the friends. Why some of us may have gotten in some situations because we may have said yes when we wanted to say no. And we may have said no when we wanted to say yes. Did I say that right? Yeah. So it's having that strong yes and that powerful no. And understanding that it's okay to make mistakes, but let them be on your own, not because someone has influenced you. And picking the right friends, getting around good relationships. If they're not supporting you and serving you, and not just getting, I know there's a saying that you keep your enemies close, right? You keep your friends close, but your enemies closer, right? I don't even want to be a part of the enemies. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to watch you hate on me and then I don't have time for that. So it's just really getting rid of the toxic relationships because they feed you their agenda. They feed you their sorrows and insecurities. They feed you their low self-esteem. And guess what happens to you? You just get lower and lower and lower, and you're no longer to stand for your own family and your own cause. So I'm Lucinda Cross, and I hope that you all activate. See, I'm trying to be cute. I hope that you all activate. Can we say activate? Activate. Activate faith. Activate faith. Activate friends. Activate friends. Activate family. Activate family. And activate my finances. Activate my finances. All right, thank you.